anybody can get fistula as long as they're of childbearing age.
Yeah.
So we need to stop the mentality of the poor man's disease notion. Then number 2, we need to be able to speak about it the way we have spoken about HIV, AIDS, and cancer.
Yes.
Without necessarily feeling like, vagina, shunned,
Hey,
stool,
yeah, taboo.
it's a taboo, and stuff like that. So we really need to normalize the condition, like the way we normalized other conditions.
Yeah.
And then again, we need to support all women to have, it's a constitutional right to have proper reproductive, health care.
Hi beautiful people, how are you? Welcome to another episode of Pour It Out. I'm very happy, always happy to be doing this show, and I want to welcome you. Karibuni sana. Na niwaambie pia asante, mmekuwa mkisubscribe na share. Yani the other day my friend forwarded me my own shows like, "Can you watch this?" I'm like, "Really?" But I feel so nice when you share and comment and all those things. So asanteni sana. Leo niko na mgeni kama kawaida na waleteanga good people. And we have an amazing lady on set. We met a while back. I'll tell you more about that after the introduction. She's called Sharon Korir, a beautiful girl. She has her own foundation. It's called Save a Woman Fistula Foundation. And today that's what we're going to be talking about, as well as other things. So Sharon, karibu sana.
Aki asante Ndanu. You guys make me feel at home every time I'm here.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys are so kind, so
Thank
loving.
You. Hey Sharon, you look nice. Your makeup is so pretty. But when you unakuanga umeweza 100. So beautiful.
Wow, you're so kind, but you picked me up. Thank you for
picking me up.
so
beautiful. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
You know, when we met, I remember calling you that time we were doing the other show, Minji, and the girls who were taking the profiles, they told me, there's a lawyer who's interested in coming. I was like, hey, this is a first. I've never gotten like a lawyer who's interested to come and share. Like, she's willing to share her story about her pregnancy, labor and birth. And they're like, yeah. I was like, what's her story? Yeah. So like, she had fistula, whatnot. And I'm like, and she's willing to share. You know, I was so touched and impressed at the same time. And since then, our relationship has been beautiful. And I'm very happy to know you. And I like how bold you are in just talking about yourself, your life, and things like that.
Thank you so much, Ndanu. It's an honor. Actually, I always say it's the grace of God. Yeah, because it's not easy to talk about very personal things, fistula.
Yeah.
Fistula is very deep. Yeah, and the way we have been cultured in our society, you're not supposed to talk about very sensitive and very conservative issues. Yeah, so I believe it's God's grace and it's the opportunity that you've given me, Ndanu. It's also how pleasant you are. Oh. You are so amazing. You know, anytime you'd call me up, I'd do anything for you, Ndanu.
Oh my, but really, asante sana.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So because may know your story, you know, I want to just take us through your life. Pole, so we understand what this is. Because I'm sure some people are watching and they're like, hey, what is this? Yeah. You know, because even when we met the first time, I had an idea, but I really did not understand the magnitude of this condition and how to go about it and all that. So maybe we start with the pregnancy.
Yeah, we can talk about the pregnancy.
Yes.
So Ndanu I got pregnant around 2016, and I was so excited that I'm getting my second child.
Yes.
So here I am, I'm expecting my baby, and slowly as the pregnancy advanced, I had issues with sciatica. So I had to use crutches.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I had to use crutches until, I can imagine.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a pain. Sciatica is pain that is on the pelvic bone. It affects the pelvic. There's muscles. Yeah. That anytime you're walking, you're able to walk. Then of course with the pregnancy, you know, it even gets more difficult. Yeah. So I was on crutches until I delivered my son.
Oh yeah.
And through that process also I had an issue with my blood because I had negative, but I was being told I had O positive with my previous pregnancy. You know, like when you give birth, my first baby, we had financial issues, was so broke. So I went to an ordinary clinic just to do before giving birth, the prenatal clinic. Yes. And they told me I had O positive. So with this other baby, I was in one of the high-end hospitals. They told me, no, you have O negative. And apparently, when I delivered my baby, my first baby, I had to be injected an anti-D. So that, you know, it works with the baby's blood and my blood. Sadly, they didn't inject at that time on time, so my body had sensitized. Yeah, so those are the complications that I got in my second pregnancy.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. But I'm okay now. My baby is fine
and the
now.
baby is okay. We thank God. So anyway.
So then I did the injection at pregnancy and about 9 months also, the anti-D.
Yes.
But still, it was too late. I went on to 40 weeks. Went on labor, went to hospital. You know the way you get those false labors, huh? So when I went to hospital, my baby was already on term.
Yeah.
So what the doctor said is just I need to be injected to hasten the process.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went through the drip and the tablet thing going on just to fast track the labor process. And sadly, my doctor came back when it was a bit too late. I had labored for too long. Believe me, Ndanu baby came out on his own.
And what?
Forcefully, because I couldn't hold the contractions any longer.
Hey, how come I don't know that?
What? Imagine, yeah.
You know, too, like,
I'm telling you, I couldn't hold, and then baby came out. And when baby came out forcefully, because I ended up pushing baby forcefully, I tore on the vagina. And when I tore on the vagina, it extended over to the rectum. So instead of having one hole, like we have our vagina in the rectum, it became one hole.
It became the whole,
The whole area became, like, instead of two organs, became one whole organ. And that caused me to have stool out of my vagina, uncontrollable leakage of urine. You can imagine that when you can uncontrollably just hold you know, like discharging urine and then stool from your vagina, it was trauma.
Like, you can't hold anything.
I couldn't hold anything. Then the first days of hospital, I was about 21 days in hospital because my baby had complications with blood exchange. I didn't even notice. Because for one, I wasn't eating well. I was so anxious about my son's life. He was in oxygen because of our resource factors. He had to go through what you call a blood exchange. All his blood was out of his system. They put fresh blood. Very invasive procedure.
What?
And extremely.
I'm even shaking. I can't imagine.
It was bad. Then it was
it's a tiny baby.
Tiny baby.
Wanatoa yote.
Wanatoa damu yote, wakarudisha damu nyingine. Mpaka nikaketi na chini nikamwambia Mungu, God, you need to tell us where we have gone wrong. Tell me what is it that I have done that is so wrong, because I can't have gone through sciatica. I can't have gone through labor that is excruciating and then prolonged, and then this particular tear that every time I walk from my room to the baby's nursery, it's like nashuta, natoa hewa. Najishuku when people are coming to my space to see me in hospital, hata mtu anikaribia because nikisimama kuna hewa. It's like literally like you're polluting the air. It was bad. Then it was bad. I'm anxious about my son's survival because you're even told by the doctor, very few kids survive with blood exchange, but it's the only option. If you don't do this, the bilirubin levels will go so high, and chances of your baby will get cerebral palsy or autism.
Ukisikia hivyo tena. You're like, you do the procedure.
You do go on, please. If this is what is going to save my son's life, and if there are chances that he will survive, then we went on with the procedure. And after 21 days, after monitoring, baby akakuwa sawa. Sasa ni kumpatia tu your breast milk anza get your immunity back. Yeah. We went home.
And you have not treated the other condition?
Fistula. The doctor came in, saw me. Even tried, normally they stitch the P, there's a name, the doctors have a name on it. So I was stitched, and then I just within the hospital before even all these things for my son came up. So by the time I was going home, I was discharged by my doctor. I was discharged by the pediatrician and also by my gyna, very comfortably.
So it's like your work was sawa?
Mimi niko sawa. Sasa nikaenda nyumbani, kufika nyumbani. So I'm a mother, very peaceful. I can see my firstborn at home. And I can see this other baby, and he's alive and healthy. We just need to boost his immunity. So nakunywa drinking chocolate, nakunywa uji.
Yeah, the normal procedure of
motherhood.
Yeah,
uji, the uji part I had to. Uji, you're staying in the bedroom, nursing yourself, trying to be better, your back pains and all that, just trying to rest. Nika realize, on the sanitary towel, what is this discharge that is uncontrollable? Two, the more I eat, the more it becomes more rampant. It becomes a lot, and the heaviness of a poop is actually poop. On the area of a sanitary towel that is here, on the vagina. Ndanu, I thought I had gone crazy.
You're like, what am I seeing?
Like I'm psycho. Like nimechizi. Nini hii naona kwa sanitary towel? I didn't tell anybody. No, I didn't tell anybody. One, I thought I had gone crazy. Seriously.
You can't imagine what you're saying to be true.
Never. Which woman discharges stool from the vagina? Then it becomes like hard stool on the from like directly on the vagina, and also on the you can see the part gets soaked up with smelly urine.
Oh.
It was bad. Pole pole Ndanu nikaanza kuwa secluded. Sitaki wageni kuona mtoto wangu.
This whole time umenyamaza. Hujaambia mtu kenye inaendelea.
I remember Wairemo, one of my friends called Wairemo. She called me and she tells me, tuko kwa gate, tunataka kuona mtu wetu. They live close by.
Yeah.
So I told her, msikuja. So my people are like, what's up? This girl is so bubbly. By nature anapenda watu. All of a sudden,
sitaki mtu kwangu. Oh yeah.
Yeah, slowly Ndanu nikaanza kuwa, secluded na watu. Slowly nikaanza I don't want people in my space. I don't even want my family to come, my sister-in-laws to come.
Yani umenyamaza kabisa.
Umenyamaza kabisa. Alafu let me tell you, baby, when they are small, they get colic. So you have colic, you have vagina issues because of this discharge, and then women are designed in our vaginas to be dry.
Yeah.
So anytime you have anything wetness and poop, you itch, you get infections.
Yes.
You get rashes, some funny sores that are very uncomfortable. So I went through that season to a point now. 6 to 8 weeks later, I call my sister-in-law. She's a nurse in Kenyatta. And I told her, you know what, Mulamwa, things are bad. This is what is happening to me. Mimi sijui kama nimechizi, sijui kama iko sawa, sijaona kitu kama hii anywhere. Nimejaribu kwenda Google, nothing. So she tells me, what I think you have is fistula. But let's not make assumptions. I want you to check on media. Citizen TV normally has adverts over Citizen season where they do camps for fistula. Check it out, ukuje sasa ufanyiwe screening, alafu tuone kama uko na fistula. Mimi naenda ambia huyu Mungu, jamani, sciatica. My son has gone through blood exchange.
Yeah.
Fear of cerebral palsy and autism. And then again, you're telling me about surgery for fistula. Like another condition again, fistula.
And that's not even okay, not that other conditions are bad, but this is traumatic.
This is traumatic.
Like what is...
Paka mzee ananiambia unanuka kwa nyumba. Bedroom haikaliki. What is this stench? The house is the bedroom. This woman, in fact, for him it was this woman. Amejachilia. Amejachilia. Yes. For him, this woman is not clean. She's something. Women normally when we give birth, the baby just takes over our species.
Yeah.
So you can imagine.
But now it's not just milk.
It's not just milk. It's plus stool and urine smell. Well, it was bad. Then I checked on the advertisement for Citizen on media. I called my friend. She's just a nearby friend, and I've known her for many years. Nikampigia nikamwambia, me, I need strength. You come, you take me, you'll hold my baby for me. As I do it. At that time,
yeah, there's also that.
Yeah, you hold the baby for me so that I can be checked in Kenyatta. We went to Kenyatta. They did the screening. And let me tell you, Ndanu, the reality of fistula is real. The number of women who are queuing with me.
Mko wengi
hivi. Na wale wa mama ambao middle age, old age, unaona tu skati zao zote ziko na urine. Mama ako socky, ako wet, ako damp juu ya fistula. So we queued, tukamaliza, nikaambiwa I have rectovaginal fistula, the 4th degree tear. 4th degree tear is the worst form of fistula. Then you're wondering now why me? Like I gave birth in one of the leading hospitals in this country. Here I am again. Nashindwa sasa nini God nilifanya casually of all the things fistula. Like really,
you felt like you've done something wrong.
I even thought I'd been bewitched. There's witchcraft in the Bible.
Yes, there is.
Yeah. What is this? What is this wicked altar that is working against my purpose?
Yeah.
Because one thing after the other. One thing. Then again, there's a tension already in my marriage because of the smell.
Yeah.
And the way then naturally when you have fistula, you're anxious. Your baby is young. You realize you have a condition that you never knew.
Yeah.
So you're stressed. Even my temperament is on another level.
Everything is affected. You can't even laugh. Hata huwezi cheka, unashtuka throughout.
Your life is actually like you're dead yet alive. Because you can't even meet your friends. You can't even mingle with people. When you go into clinic, you have to wear an adult diaper. At that time, unarakisha, because even if it's an adult diaper, you'll still have some stench.
Bado utaanza kunuka.
So you're ever on stress levels and another depression levels, self-esteem issues begin to crop up. And self-esteem, when you're losing your self-esteem, it's a process. It's a process to lose it slowly. Your brain doesn't tell you you're losing your self-esteem.
Hata you don't
Hata una
know.
habari, una lose to self-esteem yako pole pole. So when I went for screening now for 4th degree tear, back again I told my sister-in-law, what do we do? She tells me because of the nature of the small baby, we can't have you come for the camp in Kenyatta with the baby. The place was packed, and even the environment is not conducive for a small baby. So there are 2 options. Either you nurse the baby till the baby is fine, you come back, or we get you a private doctor. I got a private doctor, Dr. Hisa. He has a family clinic in Hurlingham, Nyaku House. So I went there, and he did the screening again, and so he tells me now you have to be patient because he has a call in Kenyatta for the camp. So he did the camp like for another 1-2 months. So I had to be patient with that camp.
So for 2 months,
More months,
Sharon, you were just seeing all this.
I'm telling you, it was hard. Ndanu maisha yangu ilikuwa Ndanu kama nilitoboyo. It was bad. It was terrible, especially the infections. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, cause yeah.
Na kelelea kama unamka tu hivi ni kama unashuta.
Aki, it's so stressful.
So stressful mpaka my son ananiambia mama mimi nini unashuta? You know you're my son, the 6-year-old now he's telling me mama nini unashuta. It's a disaster.
Wacha tucheke sahi. Lakini it's not funny.
It's that time. Ay mami. Akaba tunapitia mambo magumu. Kama Mungu atusaidie.
Wacha tucheke tujilie. Anakushangaa like what's wrong with mom?
This is okay, mom. So eventually ikabidi sasa nikapitia hiyo surgery. And let me tell you Ndanu, you know our vaginas as a women is designed inwards.
Yes.
So the stitching, the corrective surgery that Dr. Hisa did was a surgery around the vagina, pulling muscles to form a vagina. And then the rectum again, pulling muscles to form a rectum.
It's like ilikatika yote.
4th degree tear, ilikatika. 1st degree, 2nd degree, 3rd degree, inakuanga ni kama ikona, it's just the vagina, so you only leak urine alone.
So now him is reconstructing.
Yeah, so with 4th degree, it affects still the stool. So stool from the vagina, it was just reconstructing, it was intense, and very invasive procedure, very expensive procedure. But we thank God because my vagina was stitched very well. Dr. Hisa said the surgery is 100% fine, but what I need to do nikienda nyumbani, there's a way I had to clean. Si kuketi tu kwa maji na maji ya chumvi ama kuswab na hot towel the way wamama wanafanyanga wanapozaa. No. The cleaning process is quite intense, which I went through for 6 weeks.
Yeah. So they do it at the hospital or at home?
At home. I did 6 weeks cleaning at home alone with water. But when I used to do every weekly consultation. That's when now they swab you with antibiotics. They give you some, some cream that you apply, antibiotic cream around the vagina and the rectum. And then another thing they give you what you call diclofenac, some fluid that makes the stool loose. So that you had stool will tear.
Yes, it's urudi tena back to
square one. And then if you don't clean, our vaginas are sensitive because poop comes out of the stool, vagina, the rectum. Vagina also urine, so the chances of infections are also still very high.
Yeah.
I was ever home cleaning thrice a day, maintaining a lot of cleanliness, even my sitting posture. Life wasn't easy. And let me tell you, Ndanu, from then forward, even after now 6 months of healing, and the doctor told me my vagina is super, I can tell you for a fact, it went back to my mind, my self-esteem. Because it's another thing to be told by your surgeon, it's fine. But it's another thing to doubt your sexuality, like, am I able to satisfy my husband sexually?
This thing takes a toll on you.
It takes a toll on you. And a woman's sexuality, a woman's self-esteem is boosted when you know you can satisfy your man sexually. So back again to your fear, to doubt, to anxiety, then fear of will it tear again?
Yeah.
You know, all those fears have been there, and I can tell you for a fact that it's a process again to heal. So being able to heal physically is a process. Being able to heal psychologically is another process. Yeah. It's a whole process altogether. And then being able to get a spouse to affirm you, to validate you that, you know what, it's okay, even if it's hollow, even if your vagina is hollow, easy. As it is, I'm here. You know, that's another thing. So you'll find that most men don't have the grace to support a woman. Yeah. In fact, through the sickness and the smell and the poop, they leave. Yeah, they actually leave because every man is designed to want a woman who's hygienic, who smells okay. Like
roses.
Yes, roses are just basic but hygienic. here I am. The situation was not easy. What I did during the COVID season, I did my YouTube channel in the closet with Sharon Korir. And I started speaking about my experience, and I realized people are reaching out, telling me they have the same condition. And then in the same season, I get somebody who hooks me up with you and says it.
Oh, it was around that season that you just decided, let me start this.
And you're the first media station that I ever spoke about Fistula. It was first ever. So I spoke about it, and from your Rainbow TVs, when I went to NTV, I went to KTN, I went to Citizen, I went to BBC World Service, I went to Voice of America. I've been to all the media stations.
Just talking and creating awareness. And telling people it's okay.
Oh, yes.
And it's not your fault, because you can really start to blame yourself.
Yes.
Yet this is beyond your control.
Let me tell you, in Africa, everything is blamed on the woman. Even your marriage, when it works, it's blamed. It's the woman who's doing something. If it fails, it's the woman. Anything that will deter you from doing your, conjugal rights as a woman, always go back to the woman. Fistula affects your sexual life. For a fact. Yeah. It does affect your sexual life completely.
It definitely, because it's poop coming out of the place where it's not supposed to be coming out. It's quite. I don't even envision how anything can happen.
Exactly, nothing can happen. And then the whole healing process for 6 months. Which man can be patient for all that time? No sex for 6 months healing. Nothing. It takes a man with the grace of God to be patient until the healing is over.
And then walk through the next phase with you. Let me ask you, who was helping you deal with all this emotionally? Because now you've healed. Now we can laugh about it, and it's okay. And we would, no tears, no nothing. But it wasn't easy at the time. Just imagining, this is me, this is my situation, and I'm in this alone. Na nikitu sort of like aibu, I don't know.
Yes.
Watu wanafeel kama ni kitu aibu. Nani alikuwa na walk na wewe?
Let me be honest. At that time, I didn't even tell my sisters I had fistula.
What?
Leave alone my dad. I did not tell my dad.
You mean you can have a condition that you're even scared to tell the people who are close to you?
The fear that was, will I ever be back to the way I was before? Supposing I tell people. I used to feel like, you feel like some hurt in those things that you don't share with everybody until you heal. It was so personal for me. I didn't even want to hear the word fistula. I was so hurt. I was so hurt. It was a process, but the time I was even able to tell my sister-in-law because I was on a dead end. I had help. I needed help.
Yeah. And then this thing has been going on for 2 months. I need to talk to someone.
Yeah, I need to talk to someone. And then even getting to speak with my surgeon and having surgery and all that. The only person I think
that's an invasive procedure, yani.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
So you just only hang on to peke yako?
Hang on peke yangu na nikaambia my surgeon, and they had a very lovely team in Nyako House in Hurlingham Medical Center, and they worked with me throughout that journey. Yeah. I remember I spoke to a few friends about it, but one or two. One I used to chat with on Facebook. Call you Miss Mashira. Somebody who doesn't know me completely.
You have help, lakini hakujui, so unaweza share. It's okay, it worked.
So I used to tell Eunice, things I think, this is what is happening in my life. And then I told... Exactly. So it's only Eunice who knew. And until when I was completely fine. And I think my family, believe me, my family had it for the first time through Minji.
Ni nini ilikuwa inakufanya unanyamaza hivyo kabisa?
I think it's a fear. I think fear of having them to know that I had a very vagina issues. Like vagina issues.
Even say the name, wanasemanga hiyo kitu ya wasichana. Like hiyo the V. The V, like Miss V, like just say the word vagina is a whole.
And then when the whole labor process, the pain in labor is trauma. So I went through a very traumatic experience with the labor. That and then again trauma of knowing that I have fistula. Then trauma of polluting the air all over.
Actually, you can't go anywhere.
Where's the end of mahali? Even when you're going for clinic, you're just so anxious because now you have to give out the baby to be on measurement. You have to give out the baby to be immunized, to be,
There's also that, and guys at the clinic don't know your condition.
They don't know
your
condition.
And they're like, oh,
this is careless. Hajui kushikilia.
Yeah, it's very easy. Hajui kushikilia. Kumbe si ujui, hauwezi. It's
not even polluting. It's the air that is between the organs that is causing the noise. It's not the area that the normal... So, to be very sincere, Ndanu, I was aloof, and to a point now when I shared you guys gave me the platform to share Minji Minji. I was able to share my experience, and my family were in shock. My late mom's sisters were so hurt. You know, they're like, why didn't you tell your aunties? Your mom would have represented your mom so well, you know?
Yeah.
And then my sisters were like, what? And you're this secretive. We never knew the way you're bubbly. You
bubbly
can
people wanakuwa bubbly, but they can also shut out. Wakiamua tu kunyamaza.
So I shut down, and
so sorry.
Yeah, I think I started finding healing now when I spoke about it in Minji Minji.
Wow.
I cried then, and then I
Aki tulilia sisi wewe ukilia watu wako nyuma kwa kamera. We're just like, wow, what is...
But you guys were so amazing. It was really amazing on set. And I remember she was all over, you know, if it's okay. If you want to speak about it, and further, if you don't, just... But it went on well. We finished that episode, thank God.
Yes.
And to a point now, I can actually boldly speak about it in NTV and BBC World Service. Then I think it's just, we thank God for your platform. God wanted me to be in Urembo TV, to get support from you, Minji Minji, and your team to be able to continue with this journey.
Wow. Yeah. I'm happy. I'm very happy to hear your progress. Tell us about the foundation.
Yeah, now so after...
I want everyone who's watching to be able to share this with one or two, because every time I realize that we do an episode, it can't all be relevant to one person. Yeah. But when you're listening, you know, maybe I know someone who's going through A, B, C, and D, or I suspect. Because unasikia hizo symptoms, unasema, maybe anajua, kuna mama tunasikianga tu ananuka kila sana, hatujui shida ni nini.
Kabisa.
Because people keep quiet. Kama wewe ulinyamaza, imagine and you're able, you have a job, you're a lawyer, na bado unafeel,
Kabisa. So you can imagine the women in the villages who don't even know how to speak out, who don't even know what they are having, who don't know who to tell. It's a very sad affair. And sasa venye nilianza kuzungumza maswala za fistula everywhere, like you guys gave me a platform and all that, I got a lot of response from people. So God gave me the burden to set up Save a Woman Fistula Foundation.
Yes.
And it's a charitable trust under the Trustees Act. So basically what we do is create awareness.
Yes.
We also give psychosocial support to women with fistula because of the trauma. We also formulate legislation.
Yes.
Like we are in the process of doing a fistula policy. We intend to do with a fistula act with the right, you know, stakeholders.
You mean these things were not there before?
They were not there before completely, because fistula has been, for so long, has been perceived to be for the poor. And sadly, there's a lot of discrimination with the poor. Yeah, people don't really want to affiliate with poor man's diseases. Inakuanga mtu mwenye uko ocha amezaa nyumbani, then you get fistula, you sidelined. Yeah. So for once now we are out to say that it doesn't matter your social class.
Yes.
It doesn't matter whether you are a professional or not. You know,
you are in a good hospital.
I'm the best in this country under medical cover, and here I am. I have fistula. So anybody can get fistula as long as they're of childbearing age. Yeah. So we need to stop the mentality of the poor man's disease notion. Then number two, we need to be able to speak about it the way we have spoken about HIV, AIDS, and cancer. Yes. Without necessarily feeling like, you know, vagina, shunned, fistula, taboo. It's a taboo, you know, and stuff like that. So we really need to normalize the condition, like the way we normalized other conditions. Yeah. And then again, we need to support all women to have, it's a constitutional right to have proper reproductive, you know, health care. Yes. And that starts from the constitution. Then it has to go down to other legislations. And the rule of law is paramount. So we'll ensure that every Kenyan has the right to get these facilities in terms of whatever they are, the 47 counties in this country. So then where we are now is to ensure that we get partners who can support us with our vision, also as a foundation. When God has been so gracious, we've gotten partners who have really supported us, and so far we have supported 54 women. Oh wow, that's really nice. We thank God. 54 women who got in surgery, and we've been doing a lot of psychosocial support. We also normally do fistula awareness campaigns in Kajiado West. Yeah. And from there, we've gotten 4 women from 100. Ideally in Ndanu, out of 100 women, 1 bat has fistula. But in Kajiado, out of 100 women, 4 bats has fistula. Wow. So you can imagine the rate of fistula in Kajiado, in where, because they give the early child births, because it's Maasai land, FGM, because of fistula, and also giving birth at home. There are no healthcare facilities around Kajiado area. You know, the nearest healthcare facility, you have to be on a rider, and a pregnant woman on a rider on labor. On border. And then if you want to do a probox, like a taxi, you have to pay 2,500. Who can afford 2,500 with a common woman in Kajiado? Yeah. It's very expensive. So those are the things that we need to look at. How are we able to support these women in terms of proper healthcare, psychosocial support, and all the way to their healing process, and then we're integrating them back to society.
Yes.
Wajua unajua nini sweat ulirogwa. There's nothing that your family line did wrong. Because you'll find that most of these women are even left by their husbands and they marry. And I know there's a lady in Kajiado West who's lived with fistula for 20 years. She's done 3 surgeries, but they keep failing.
Oh, no.
So the husband left her. She's living with her brother. She's a woman who's so stressed, depressed, she has moments of suicidal thoughts. So one thing we need to address is Kajiado is an area where there's no cleaning facility. There's no water.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So if you need water, you have to go to the river, which is a few kilometers away. Imagine a woman whose vagina has been stitched on going to the river to get water to clean. We need proper healthcare where we have a home. Once you get surgery, you're in that particular home.
You stay there until you're okay.
A month is done, then now you can go back to the village. Yes. Then when you go back to the village, we accompany you to do advocacy. To tell the people, this is just alikuwa tu na shida ya fistula, na amekuwa sawa.
Na sasa ako sawa.
Welcome her home.
It's a whole process.
It's a whole process, Ndanu. It's a whole process. And then out of the 54 women we are also empowering these 54 women to go down to the grassroots to be able to speak about it. So it's disseminating information from me to them, to be ambassadors. That's what our vision is.
Wow.
So once we have a woman who has fistula speaking to another woman in local dialect like that,
it becomes easier. They can relate. They understand.
Exactly.
The message, gets home.
Exactly. And women can restore back that dignity.
Yeah.
That is our main mission, having women to restore back that dignity. That's very key. And then our foundation has a board. We have a board of directors that have been instrumental, the others in the media, others in the advocates of the High Courts of Kenya, others who are, doctors. We have a doctor representative of KMPDU, Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union. So this whole team has really supported us to work to ensure we capture every sector. And now at our board, and through this board, after a year, we got an award.
Yay! I saw that.
Yeah, Zuri Award by Zuri Foundation under humanitarian category by Honorable Margaret Kobia. All that was just through the grace of God and through the support that we've gotten from our partners, from the board of directors, from the board of trustees. And and that's where God has taken us this far.
I'm so happy. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Especially for being obedient. It's one thing to get an instruction for God to lay something so heavy in your heart. Like, do this, I want you to do this. And you're thinking it might cost me something. And you still just went out and did it. Because ukianza si ulikuwa natumia pesa yako.
Mimi nakwambia wewe unasema nini Ndanu? Mpaka leo natumia pesa zangu. Because the partners that will support just a few events.
Mostly in kind.
In kind.
Yeah,
that's
most
it.
of the time it's in
most
kind.
of the time they do it in kind. But in terms of putting money into sending money, mama fair, doing even supporting, it's normally crazy. I have to go extra mile to do that on my own account. And even having them have lunch at times, like we have to have a meeting area because we don't have an office space as yet. I buy lunch and we talk about it. You have to, one way or another, spend so much money from your own finances. Because why? It's a burden.
It's a burden.
Because it's a ministry.
There's so many people, I'm sure some people who are watching, and you have this burden in you to do something, and you're thinking, how do I go about it? What would you tell someone like that?
So if you want to be a friend of the foundation, please to support a woman with surgery, to support a woman even going for clinics, like monthly, weekly clinics until 6 months is over, or whichever way even to partner with us, please check out our website, saveawomanfistulafoundation.org. Check out my Facebook page, Save a Woman Fistula Foundation, or even Sharon Korir, Fistula Champion on Twitter, on Instagram, or on Facebook.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Sharon, you make me happy.
Thank you. I thank God I can laugh about this.
Yeah, now we can laugh. Kitambo, it was not funny, but what you managed to do even with your team, it's commendable.
Thank you.
And I pray that, God will reward you in the best way that He can, because He's the one who rewards our good deeds. And He says He's not a debtor of anyone. Ananga deni ya mtu. Kila kitu unafanya inarudi. Anything you lose even in the process. Because you see, ukienda huku tu, ukiambia watu, vagina imekatika.
We need help.
Some people are uncomfortable.
I'm telling you, I even, the people who clinch, like, one of our board members is a parent in Brookhouse, and what he did, he went to Brookhouse and was told to speak about Careers Day. So he's there introducing who he is, and then what he does is whatever he is for our role in our foundation and vagina. And then the head of school, the headmaster went, "Don't talk about vagina." Don't talk about vagina in the presence of these children. That's how far we are. And this is an international school.
Yeah.
So we are still way back to be able to talk about such sensitive issues.
Imagine.
And I've even faced challenges when I went to Cast TV, Cast Radio to speak about fistula. So my auntie calls me and tells me, if you say vagina in that radio station, you'll be cast. The organ that discharges urine and the organ that discharges feces, like you speak in parables.
We have a long way to go. Yeah.
So I've gotten a lot. Then talking about such issues also, you get a lot of stigma. Even in the workplace. Yeah, you get stigma in the workplace. You get stigma in...
How now? Guys are just...
There's something about... You may not be able to understand, but trust me, when you talk about very sensitive things about vagina, feces coming out from your vagina and all that, it doesn't go well with people in the society, because those are things that they're wondering, why you wash.
Why are you sharing?
My
and
colleague,
that's private.
Yes, my former colleague told me, why are you airing your dirty linen in public?
But how will others get help?
Well, that's the thing. I told God, God, you've given me this burden to talk about fistula. And we will talk and talk. Even me soaking for a lifetime and not even getting a coin in return. Oh, Ndanu, I will talk. And seeing a woman who, after surgery, calls me up and tells me, I just wanted to call you to say thank you. Another one came with chicken in a box. Thank you. From Machakos.
Thank you.
Thank you. Even just the word itself is good enough for me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sharon.
That is so touching.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
God is so good.
God is good.
Amen.
We thank God. There's a beauty in everything, even if it was hard at the time.
Look at who God is.
Yeah.
And
you
now
have to go through it for someone else. Of course, at the time, you're like, I'll pick another candidate, not me. But right now, when you look at it, you're like, it's good, because you have the voice. Kuna mwingine angekuwa ananyamaza.
Kabisa.
Whether you're bold, you'll talk.
I will talk about
Nyinyi
it.
mseme venye mtasema. I will share.
I will do it, and I will do it. Let me lose whatever I need to lose, everything in life. As long as I see a woman's dignity restored, for me, it's a win. And for me, that's where my peace comes from.
Yeah,
purpose. So, purpose. I'm living, Ndanu, I am living my purpose.
Wow.
That one is done. It's a done deal for me. God knows that this is an assignment.
Yes.
That He's given me, and I have to perform it to the end.
Wow.
We just trust in God that we'll get partners who come on board to support us even as we move forward.
Wow. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much
for coming.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. Guys, share this content with people who need to listen to this. If you want to partner, please partner with this foundation. I am so happy and so impressed. And may God give you grace and favor. And you won't lose anything, by the way, in the process.
I received.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
Bye-bye. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye. I love you guys.